Guys, today's video is going to give you goosebumps. So if you want to hear a powerful and real life story and get goosebumps, then watch this video till the end. Imagine you're in a plane and suddenly the engine stops. You crash into the ocean. There's only water all around and only death below. But you still survive. 1 day, 2 days, 10 days, 30 days, and then 47 days pass like this in the ocean. No food, no water, and no hope. Even after 47 days, you're not rescued. Instead, you're caught by the enemies and thrown into jail. You're beaten so much every day that your soul trembles. Now tell me, who among you would not beg for death at that time? Who would not break down? Maybe no one. But there was one person who did not break down. He was expelled from school in childhood. He had become so spoiled that the police used to chase him. But while running from the police, he completes the journey to the Olympic track, where the world's fastest people run, and sets a unique record for himself in the Olympics. He makes history. And this is the man who fights against Germany and Japan in World War II, fights against the world's biggest dictator, Hitler. See, this man's story will tell us that the strength of a man is not in his body, but in his courage. 15 poor. This is the story of Olympic runner Louis Zamperini, who could have broken but still became unbroken. So the story begins in 1917 when the world was engulfed in the smoke of war. And in the streets of America, foreign children were taunted, not respected. In the same streets, in a small town named Torrance, a weak looking boy is born. His name was Louis Zamperini. He was Italian, and because of that, his name was made fun of. In school, children would spoil his name, and teachers would look at him with wrong intentions. He was shy, but there was a fire inside him which the world had not seen yet. Every day his childhood would go through a new battle. Someone would snatch food from his lunchbox. Someone would laugh at his clothes. But the biggest battle he was fighting was with himself. Why am I a joke for everyone? Will I also be able to become something someday? Such thoughts used to run in his mind. And when a person breaks down again and again, he either becomes silent or rebels. Louis chose the other path. Gradually, Louis became the bad boy of the streets of Torrance, drinking alcohol, stealing cigarettes, fighting, stealing from shops, and then escaping from the police car. This had become his daily story. At that age, when children go to class with school bags, Louis roams the streets with slippers on his feet and a knife in his pocket. His parents were worried. The school had expelled him, and the police had considered him guilty. But there was a person who still saw fire in Louis, who thought that Louis could do something big in a field. And that was Louis' elder brother, Pete Zamperini. Pete knew that Louis was just misguided, and every misguided boy has a passion hidden somewhere inside him. Pete tried to explain to Louis, but he did not understand. Then one day Pete shouted at Louis and said that you are running away from the world, Louis. But this is the time to run in front of the world. Get on the track and show the world. Tell everyone that you are a winner and not a loser. Listening to his brother, Louis for the first time gave a direction to his anger and energy. And that direction was the running track. The beginning was not easy. When he stepped on the track for the first time in Torrance High School, everyone laughed and said, "Hey, he's a hooligan. How will he run?" But Louis had something else in mind. He lost the first race on the first day. But the second time he did not look back. Waking up at 5 a.m. every day, training, blisters on the feet, tiredness in the body, but fire in the spirit. And then in the year 1934, a day came when Louis broke the national record of the high school mile. That too was a record that was not broken for many years. Louis had now become a sensation. His name started getting printed in the sports newspapers of America. The same boy from Torrance who was once searched by the police was now making his place in the Olympic team. And then came the 1936 Berlin Olympics. In the presence of Adolf Hitler, Louis Zamperini took part in the 5,000-meter race. That was his first Olympics, and his age was only 19 years old. But what he did in the last 400 meters was seen by the whole world. Louis drove such a speed in the last lap that the whole field was filled with silence. He kept leaving behind each athlete and created history by making the fastest final lap of that time. What are you thinking? This was the same boy who used to steal once but had created history today. He had become the pride of America, the hero of Torrance, and the right answer to Pete Zamperini's hard work. But maybe fate did not approve of this. Fate still had a bigger race left because Louis' life was now moving away from the track. It was about to go into turbulence because now he is called for World War II, where defeat in the race does not only mean defeat, but death. Now the story reaches a point where the war is not in the field but in the sky, where the enemy fires bullets and hopes get drenched in blood. Louis Zamperini is running this time too. But now not to win, but to stay alive. In the year 1941, when Pearl Harbor was attacked and America entered World War II, Louis also got a call. Now also he had to run for his country. But this time there was no track but sky. Louis joined the Air Force and sitting in a B-24 bomber, he started attacking the Japanese base. But this was a war, and in war there is no track, no finish line. Here there is only one question. Will you survive? The day was 27th May 1943 when their plane was flying over the Pacific Ocean. But suddenly the engine of the plane fails and then the whole team crashes into the ocean. There are splashes of water, pieces of the plane all around, and the sound of the plane crash. Because of this, all the people died. Only three people survived: Louis, Phil, and Mac. Now, from here, the longest race of life begins. 47 days in a small life raft in the middle of the ocean without food and water, and only with the support of hope. On the first day, he felt hungry, so he ate whatever little food was available. But on the second day, the heat of the sun burnt his skin. On the third day, sharks started circling around the boat. And on the fourth day, bullets started raining from the sky. The speed of the bullets of the Japanese plane pierced their raft, but somehow they survived. Louis' courage was still not broken. He would tell himself every morning that I am an Olympic runner, I cannot accept defeat. Days passed, 2 days, 4 days, and in this way full 30 days passed. Mac died of hunger, then fainted. But Louis was still sitting in a corner of the raft with swollen body, burnt skin, but still passion in the eyes. And then on the 47th day, a Japanese boat saw them. But this was not the end of the race. This was now the beginning of a new hell, because the Japanese were their enemies. So Louis was caught and sent to the Japanese prison camp, where humans were kept in worse conditions than animals, working all day, being beaten, abused, starved. And the worst was an officer named the Bird, who used to beat Louis every day just because Louis was an Olympian and had become the pride of America. The Bird wanted Louis to break down. Louis himself says that he broke my bones but not my courage. Somewhere in Louis' mind, it must have been going on that I will stay alive so that one day I can tell my story to the world. I will not break because I am unbroken. Louis went through that hell for 2 years. He kept suffering from illness, hunger, oppression, and mental torture, but he remained alive. And then came the day Louis was waiting for, 2nd September 1945. World War II ended, and Louis was released. But now he had become a survivor, a man who won in every race from track to torture. But brother, the story did not end here either, because Louis' real battle was about to begin now, and this is the battle within him. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a kind of disease in which a person is unable to forget the incidents that happened to him. He remembers them again and again. Louis had won the battle outside, but there was a storm raging inside him. When Louis returned home from the war, everyone was calling him a hero. The media was publishing his photos. People were eager to shake hands with him. But only Louis knew that his real battle had just begun, because he could not sleep at night. In every dream, the Bird would come towards him. He felt as if he was reliving every scream, every slap, every injury. Louis was struggling with PTSD. The man who once ran on the Olympic track had now started running after the bottle of alcohol. Alcohol had become medicine to forget his pain. He would scream, break things, get angry at his wife. Even his marriage was on the verge of breaking. And slowly, Louis was losing himself. The story could have ended here. But Louis' story was not meant to end. One day in 1949, his wife Cynthia took him to a church where a preacher named Billy Graham was giving a speech after Louis refused to listen at first. But friend, there was something in those words that changed Louis. Those words were, forgiveness is not for the one who hurt you, it is for the one who has been hurt. If I explain in simple words, then it means that when someone hurts us, we get broken from inside. Anger, pain, and hatred fill inside us. Third, but if we do not forgive them, then on the contrary, this burden remains in our heart, and we are the ones who think and bear that thing. But if we forgive him, we forget all that. And these words had struck Louis' heart. Louis came home that day, sat alone, closed his eyes, and forgave the Bird for the first time. Then Louis turned his pain into strength. He became a motivational speaker, went to schools, churches, prisons, and told his story. People knew that breaking is acceptable but not losing. Louis' story was not just about surviving in a war, but it is a story of a person never breaking down. A person who became unbroken because he never accepted defeat. He never looked broken. Now just think. The person who was considered dead by the whole world, who saw war, suffered oppression, and then regained his strength, do you also have the same fire inside you? Can you also become unbroken? Louis' story was so amazing that even Hollywood could not ignore it. In 2014, a film named Unbroken was released, which was directed by famous actress Angelina Jolie. This film inspired crores of people around the world. But this story is not just a film. It was a reminder that man is not a mere man of bones and flesh. He is the name of courage, determination, and hope. Louis Zamperini died in 2014. Louis has taught us that storms will come in life, people will push you down, but if the courage is alive, no power can break you. Because some people are not made to break, they are unbroken. So, friend, now the decision is yours. Will you become like Louis or will you give in to the circumstances? Do let us know by commenting. In today's video from Struggle to Crown, we shared the unbreakable story of Louis Zamperini. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to Struggle to Crown, like the video, and drop a comment.